Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. Um, Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais. I believe this is his channel. I'm not sure, to be honest. BALR is the name of the channel. Um, yeah, and some good. There's a lot of things from the Trump Starmer thing in here. I mean, one thing I haven't mentioned before, to be honest, which I should have, and I've it keeps coming back to me, is the farmers and the inheritance tax of the farmers and uh, yeah, like this country is being taken down from within, and kind of proof of it is that they're trying to do all the farmers in and the inheritance tax and get rid of all the farmers, which I don't know if anybody noticed, but that's kind of where our food comes from. So there's a systematic destruction of this country from within, and if you know what to look for, you can clearly see it, to be honest. And it starts at the very top with the economy and the national debt and spending us into an oblivion, which then ultimately has the repercussions of all these. Like, the reason they've done this inheritance tax to the farmers is because there's no money, the country's bankrupt, which ultimately is part of the national debt. So this one big problem of the national debt I often mention is ultimately making other problems, which then ultimately systematically destroy the country from within. So, and it doesn't have to be done, but it is being done, and it's kind of a plan, to be honest. It's like taking away the freedoms with the Online Safety Act and locking us down. It's ultimately the New World Order. That's what it is. All these people who've tried to tell you about this conspiracy and the Illuminati and the New World Order for, God, 20, 30 years at this point. Well, they were all telling you the truth, is the problem you've got now. And when they were all telling you 20 to 30 years ago, the reason they were telling you was because in 20 to 30 years' time, it was all going to go to fucking shit. And the world we knew will be gone. And these people were ultimately trying to save you and your world from becoming an absolute hellhole, to be honest. And we're getting there. We're getting there now. So nobody listened, people wouldn't believe it, and time has passed and it's all gone to shit, just as it predicted it would be. For the New World Order, order out of chaos is the saying. So they're going to bring order out of chaos, their order and their world that you probably won't like, to be honest, because it'll be their world, and you're seeing it take shape, and it's not liked by a lot of people. You're going to be ultimately locked down and a peasant slave forever while the rich people are rich. You'll do all the work, fix all the machines. They'll live in the lap of luxury. Your family and descendants will always be peasants for the rest of time, and the rich people will always be rich for the rest of time. And that's kind of what the plan is from the rich people. Obviously, it's not a poor people's plan. We don't want to be the slaves fucking forever, but the poor people, the rich people, kind of want that. You know what I mean? So they're going to depopulate the planet. There's too many people on the earth as well. Too many people for an uprising. If you have less people, an uprising can't happen. You can regain or retain control of your um, Orwellian state for far longer and much better. The less people, less chance of a revolt. So it's kind of, that's what's happening here. Like, it's the New World Order. There's no real debate about this, to be honest. If you know what to look for and you know what the crack is for quite some time, it's pretty obvious what they're doing and what's coming, and it's going to get a lot worse, a lot worse before it gets any better. And when it gets better, it'll be worse. So these people have plans, and this man on the screen works for the people who have plans. It's as simple as that. When this lad here was in probably school, to be honest, or when he first went to university with his aspirations and where he was going, he was picked up by certain people and put in the right places and went to the right schools, and he was groomed from very, very early on to do what he's doing right now, the same as David Cameron was, the same as Tony Blair was, the same as every single one of them was groomed to do this position and do the job that they're currently doing or have done as Prime Minister of the country, which is not serve the people. It is not serve the people. And a lot of people are clicking onto that. A lot of people already know the Online Safety Act is pretty much to silence dissent and stop people rising up against what's happening to them, being and talking about it and spreading the word. Really, is what's going on here. They're stopping you spreading the word. People have been spreading the word for years, but it wasn't bad enough for people to listen. The worse it gets, the more people will listen, and ultimately they know this. So now they're going to silence you from being able to tell people what's going on, because they know the more people that work out what's going on, they will not like it, and Britain is already starting to revolt. So they're trying to quell it because people watch, the world watches. England watched Ireland over the Ballymena and the raping of children by foreigners, and now England's had enough of it, and we watched how Ireland reacted, and a lot of English people thought, here, this is we're too easy on this, you know what I mean? This we need to make a stand here, and the British over the last couple of weeks, days, have been making stands outside many migrant hotels. The government doesn't like this. The government is clearly bringing these people in hand over fist and paying them, putting them up in the hotels, costing us a fortune, back to the national debt. So, and ultimately, the national debt is to cripple the economy and bring in a one world currency, a one world order. Also, the Online Safety Act has been mentioned now in America, and that's yeah, I've seen a video from Osmond Gold and another creator in America, and the Online Safety Act, by another name, is going to America as well, because this is the new world order and it will be worldwide. Control, total control. So yeah, the Western democracies need quelled, to be honest, to have this one world order. No, no democracy here. This isn't going to be a democracy. This is going to be a socialist state by the looks of things. Possibly communism, but more likely socialism. And that's the way forward. And whether you like it or lump it, that's what the plan is, and that's what we're doing, and that's where we're going. So, and you tried to tell people this for years, and we wouldn't believe you. They didn't care, and no, it doesn't affect me. It will really, really will affect you if you manage to survive to get through to the New World Order. That's the beauty of it. This is going to be DEFCON 1. It's all going to go to shit. You won't believe how bad it's going to get. Possibly a Third World War. Shitstorms like you've never seen. This is definitely going to affect your life. So, yeah, people wouldn't believe, but it's all coming down now, and people looking for answers, starting to believe. But it's almost the point of no return here. There's very little time left. COVID was a very much a point of no return, and many people have been vaccinated now. We don't know what them vaccinations are going to do in the long term, and whether they've put something in you that when the time comes they can do something to you if you try and revolt or something. We don't know. We don't know. We're playing a game here. I've mentioned this before. You're playing chess with the chess masters, and these motherfuckers own the board. So you're going to have to be a real clever motherfucker to get through this. And most people are not, to be honest. Most people are not. Most people don't even see it coming or know what's happening. But shitstorms like you've never seen are coming and happening. And again, the farmers, the inheritance tax, and taking farms off farmers, getting rid of the food of the country. Should some sort of crisis happen, there'll be no food, which will lead to starvation of millions of people, possibly, which is a good way of getting rid of the population, to depopulate. Who knows what's going to happen in this future, because it's all bagwash. It is all bagwash, and I think most people, you should be able to see the bagwash coming at this point, and if you can't, you really need to open your fucking eyes, because it is coming, and it is coming fast at this point. So this is Ricky Gervais' channel, and he makes some good points. He talks about being older and how you sort of think and feel, and but there's some good just things from Trump, and Starmer's sat there while Trump's saying these things, and we are doing the exact opposite to everything that Trump's saying here in England. Like everything, the farmers. Trump's on about looking after the farmers. Trump's on about truth social, his online account, and being censored, and saying to Starmer, don't censor it. And Starmer's just sat there like he doesn't know where to put himself. So absolute shit show, unbelievable, to be honest. But a lot of people are picking this up as well, because it is a shit show. Starmer sat there fucking squirming as Trump tells him how it should be. But Is it all one big fugazi? Trump's in on it, and we're all being played to fuck here. That is a very strong possibility. Um, so yeah, let's see a bit of this.
If you don't like that, if you don't like the changes that we've made, I say the door is open and you can leave.
Social media sites. There are new powers here to censor your site, states mandated.
To censor my site?
To censor your site.
You mean Truth?
And Facebook.
Truth, sir?
I mean Truth. Is that okay?
Well, I don't think he's going to censor my site because I
no.
say only good things. Will you
Yeah.
please uncensor my site?
Yeah, we're not censoring anyone.
Some things I'm more mellow about and some things I'm more angry about. Like, I never really cared about politics. I went through the phase at sort of, 15, 16, thinking I was Che Guevara.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this when I made the video about 16-year-olds and voting and what I was like, and my mates at 16, and all we cared about was drinking, smoking, women, to be honest, was pretty much the way of things, and yeah, you don't give politics a second thought. And apathy makes a lot of people give up on politics. They think you can't change anything, which to be honest, you can't, because we're living in agendas. Like people, it's again all agendas. People work, secret clubs, Club of Rome, Bilderberg Group, all these secret organizations that aren't that secret, but you're still not told about them, and unless you go and look, you won't really know what they are. But these people are all at the top, the 1%, if you want to call them that. They've got big plans, and they're using many people by either they've sold us out for a lot of money, and they're implementing plans worldwide. It is going to be worldwide. And you, the peasant, me, the peasant, it's like you're a fucking lumpit here, where we're going to be told what the crack is, and if you don't like it, it's as Starmer said there, you can leave. So England seems to be first here, but everybody's up for the chop here because it's a new world order. It's a one world government. It's a one world currency. Everybody under one banner, and it's after it doesn't take rise till after the Third World War, to be honest, because the Third World War is used as the incident to all and the horrors and the death and how bad it was and is going to be used to call for a new world order. We need a one world government. We can't have this happen again. This is exactly how the United Nations was born after the Second World War. This can't happen again. We can't have another war like this. It was terrible. We need some sort of entity to stop this happening. And a one world government would be this entity. So that's the plan. It's been the plan a long time, long before probably any of us or anybody who listens to this video was ever born. This has been the plan. They just never had the technology to pull it off, and now they do. And again, the Online Safety Act, quelling people, we're going to put people in prison and get rid of them. Room 101 in George Orwell's 1984 is basically what's going to happen here. So yeah, George Orwell's 1984 was a warning. It wasn't fiction. It wasn't fantasy. It was a warning of what was coming, and what the people at the top have been planning for a very long time, long before we were born. And I mean, half of it's their parents' plans, and they've passed it down in the families and the secret clubs and the Bilderberg groups and all these, the Club of Rome. It's all been passed down and carried on. The plan of ages, and it will be fulfilled, is the call from the powers that be, and it very much looks like it will be fulfilled. To be honest, they're making real good inroads, especially since COVID, to fulfill this plan, and it's there for the eyes to see. Then, if they educate yourself on these matters and the new world order and the global elites and the globalization and all this basic plan of what they're doing and why they're doing it and when it started and how and why, and when Bilderberg Group, Club of Rome, all these things, plenty more. Look into all these things, and at the bottom of it all is the answers as to what's happening to the world and why. And yeah, I mean, Trump's a big problem for them if he isn't in on it. Again, everything he says here is completely contradicting Keir Starmer on how to run a country here, and Starmer sit there squirming, but it's amazing to me that this has took place. It's on news. It's on the news that will have went to America, England, worldwide news. Starmer sit there squirming as England. He's doing everything that the opposite to what Trump's saying, and they just put this on the telly. They just put this on the telly, like you know what I mean. As Britain's starting to rise, so it's no wonder Britain's starting to rise. But I think that's part of the plan. To be honest, I think again, I've mentioned V for Vendetta, the main character, the woman. On the film, her parents have died in the troubles, in the riots, in the troubles that took over Britain. On the film V for Vendetta, it's alluded to. So you don't see any of the thing really, but it's alluded to troubles in Britain, big troubles where riots and people died. And this is in the film V for Vendetta. So I think they actually want us to kick off is the plan here, because when we kick off, they can kick off and bring in more rules and beat us down with batons and the police. So it's kind of they want us to kick off the crack. So you don't want to kick off. It's got to kind of be a peaceful protest, but ish, how can you make inroads in such ways at times is kind of the way of things when the people they just won't listen. Like it doesn't matter how many people if you stand in the street, these people just probably won't listen. They don't care. It's not that they're not being affected by who stood in the street. They're in their ivory towers. So yeah, it's if people prevent. I think it's a saying. People who prevent a peaceful revolution make a violent revolution inevitable. I think is the saying, or it's something in them regions. The people who make peaceful revolution unobtainable make violent revolution inevitable. So that's kind of a very famous saying, I believe, as we look on here on a man of history. So I'll play a bit more of Ricky.
But then you think there's no point. But I realise the thing that makes my blood boil is um, obviously animal cruelty and and all injustice, all those things, those documentaries I've watched where people have gone to jail, for 30 years just because the prosecutor wanted to get a quick. It,
Yeah, I'm like that as you get older and you watch these people who've been, and you're just like, because you realise how precious time is. That's all we've got. All we've got is time here. Money comes and goes. You don't get to take anything with you, and we're born with nothing. We will die with nothing. For the dust we shall return, and all we can maybe take with us is our memories that came from more time on the earth. So time is precious, very precious, and to take someone's time away by putting them in prison for years and years for something they didn't do is a crime in itself. And yeah, as you get older, you I think time is one of the most important things in the world. That's all we ever really have is time. We don't have anything else. Like everything else is fades away. Everything, nothing else lasts. We have time and we have the memories, and everything else is gone. If we do retain anything in death and there is something next, surely the memories is what we will retain. It's the only thing. So the consciousness, if this consciousness goes somewhere, do the memories go with it? All questions that have been asked for a long time that some people will say they have the answers to, but nothing can ever be proved. So I'm sure we'll all get the answers. That's the beauty of the game. We will all get the answers at the end of the game.
I just think, well, what can we? They can't give them that time. So things like that, I'm more angry about than I ever was. Like wasted time when you take away someone's time. Then other things that I was probably, I don't know. I don't think I have mellowed. I don't think I have mellowed.
I haven't mellow. I've got more. It's probably the opposite. I've got more annoyed at everything as I've got older, because that's because the world's falling to bits around us, and you can't do anything about it. And I've known for 15 to 20 years why it's falling to bits around us, and that it's ultimately somebody's plan or a lot of people's plan to fuck us all over. And I can't do anything about it. There's nowhere I can go to escape any of this. Doesn't matter where I go, I can't escape. So it's very frustrating, to be honest. It's very frustrating knowing all this for a long time, and it brings in a bit. It has to bring in a bit apathy, because if not, you'd literally go insane. Trying to, for years and years, you've tried to tell people and spread the word and wake people up, as it's called, but they just won't listen because they're too lost in their lives, because everything was hunky dory. But as things become not hunky dory, people will listen. So the government's trying to silence us, and they know that. But ultimately, it's probably too late. That's the other side of it. It's probably too late, and if it's not too late, it's going to take a monumentous effort from the British people to turn the tide here, to turn this back round, because the technology now being deployed by the state and the government and everybody, it's far too great. They will pick us out. They will know where we are. They will come and arrest you in your home after protests. We had facial recognition cameras at the protests, and you're not allowed to wear masks. That's why they're doing it. You're not allowed to wear masks so they can get your face. So if you do cause any bother, they can come and get you. Or just any dissenters in general later down the line, room 101. It's kind of the crack here. This is what's happening now, and it's maybe too late to stop. The British people didn't listen in time. Is maybe what's happened here, to be honest.
Because I was never, I was only ever verbally brave. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I used to go out and steal cars and get into fights.
Yeah, that's the difference as well. We've got verbally brave people, but physically brave people. There's a very big difference, to be honest. And you're verbally brave people, as good as they are, your physically brave people are better, to be honest. They're better, and you've got some backing here, because we see it with many people. Once violence comes into play, the vocal people don't stand a chance here. Brawn. Brawn often beats the brains, to be honest, when it comes to a physical fight. You know what I mean? Comes to an argument, the brains will win. Physical fight, brawn. So yeah, it's just the two sides to being brave as well. Like there's being brave in the mind, and but, well, not even in the mind, in your voice, and then there's being brave in with fighting as well. And one's not the same as the other. To be honest, one isn't the same as the other.
It's not like I ran a gang. I was cheeky at school, then I was cheeky at work. Now being cheeky is my job. So I haven't had to downgrade my outrageous behaviour and bravery because it was only ever verbal. So I don't think I have mellowed, no. And in many ways, I've gone the opposite way. But I think freedom of speech is the a fundamental human right that all others come from. So if anything, I've got slightly more militant on the people's right to freedom of speech, which is sort of part of my job, I think.
Yeah, the freedom of speech is massive, especially in this world, in this day and age, and they're trying to take it away from us. They really are, and it's a real. I can't stress to anybody who doesn't truly know what these people's plans are, but it's a very bleak future plan for us, the peasants here, where we will be the peasants forever. It's honestly our descendants. I mean, this is. I'm being honest. To be honest, I last had an abortion to me, as many people know, and against my will. But in the aftermath of it, one thing I take. I can't think of the right words. Maybe solace in, or I'm thankful for in the aftermath of that, is that I don't have kids, in because I know what's coming and has always been coming, and I've always kept that as part of keeping me sane in the aftermath of what happened. That the world's going to get real fucking bad here, and to have a kid when all this is going to come down on us, that will be scary in itself. Having to look after somebody else who can't really defend themselves, when we're all going to need defended here. Again, I can't stress what these people's plans are and how bad they are for us, and what it's going to take to get there. And yeah, having kids through all this is going to be a real tough ride, to be honest, a real tough ride indeed. So I take a bit of comfort in the fact that I haven't got any, and that came about through a tragedy for me. But that tragedy could, in the long term, be a blessing in some ways, because I don't have to face this future worrying about a child as well as myself, to be honest. And I've, again, being older and lived quite long. I mean, I'm nearly 50, so I've done a bit of life. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not young. I'm not gonna get take. I've lived through the good times in the '90s and the noughties. So we've maybe had the best times on the earth here. So I can take a lot of comfort in all these things. You know what I mean? But the future for the kids, for everybody's kids, the future here is very, very bleak indeed. And for many years, that's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for the peasants, because we are the peasants, but we're fighting for your children, because your children will never get to experience life like we did, and that is a horrifying thing to think of how these people will be threatened in the future by the rich people if we let all this be, and we are letting it be.
Freedom of speech. So I selfishly want that, but it happens to be the best thing for everyone.
We've got to fix that problem. We can't simply live with that problem. So it's a very different situation.
Well, we ended the estate tax. There is no estate tax on farmers. So when a parent leaves their farm, because again, a lot of these farms, they don't make a lot of money, but it's a way of life, and
Look at him squirming. Look at Starmer squirming as he inheritance taxes all our farmers and takes the farms off all our farmers and cripples us. Look at him.
they love their way of life, and they love that dirt. That dirt is the most beautiful thing they've ever seen. They love it. I mean, they're farmers. They love doing it. They don't know how to do anything else, but they don't want to do anything else. I speak to farmers. I say, would you like to live in my penthouse in Manhattan? It's always beautiful. No, sir, I want this farm. And what happens is, I mean, we were losing a lot of people to suicide. They'd borrow money to pay the estate tax, and they were not able to pay it. And some banks are ruthless. They wouldn't do anything, and they would end up committing suicide. We have totally ended the estate tax in those situations. So there's no estate tax. So when a parent leaves the farm to the kids, they don't have to worry about their local, possibly unfriendly banker coming in and stealing their farm.
Yeah, I mean, you see, Starmer just sat there, and Trump just saying the complete opposite to what everything we're doing. And again, mentioned suicide there of farmers, and that could very much be the way of it, as these people lose everything their families have worked for generations. Here's George Galloway. I mean, the fight's on, to be honest. This is it. They're trying to silence us. So this is now. Now is the time. It's time to stand. It's time to act. To be honest, because the new world order is here. It's here. This is the new world order coming into play, coming into view. I mean, it's been systematically in play for years and years and years, but it's getting to the point where now it's very noticeable that it's here. So yeah, if the people don't fight for the future, then the future, well, there is no future for most people and your descendants. This is it. It's the rest of time. Well, up until Jesus comes back and fucking fixes all this shit. You know what I mean? So we're waiting on that anyway, but it's going to get real bad before that happens. So I'll leave it there, but yeah, it's New World Order. Peace.